calamity, either by whatever it is needed, but it is going to be revealed. So we can expect a powerful revelation entering our lives. How we may not truly know yet, because this does hold an element of surprise, an element of mystery, exactly because that Neptune is with Mars. When Mars is in the sign of Pisces, that gives us a spiritual energy, an energy of the soul, which we can even use to divination and stuff like that. But now Neptune drowns it. This is where Neptune says, let me do everything, and me being the divine itself. Of course, Neptune is the illusion, Neptune is the lies, the deception, the psychological warfare, but maybe it is that which will reveal itself. That has to be in full bloom right now. That has to blossom, that has to flourish, that has to be as fed to the maximum, because the law of nature, when something consumes much more than it can take, it will die. It will die of indigestion, it will disintegrate, or it will just fall apart. So that is why it was fed. Whatever is going to be revealed at this moment, it is just going to be revealing itself, because it's so full, it's so fat with whatever it desired: power, money, control, whatever, soul, some people say. That now it's so full that it will just reveal itself. And the laws of nature. When a predator is way too full, lesser predators come, which before stood as far away as possible from the top, the primal predator, and they will either tear it apart or just leech it until it's dry. So it basically signed its death pact. And we are talking about that which is the scorpionic expression, that which pulls the strings from the shadows. May that be world leaders or cabal or whatever it is. We don't know, we don't care, nor should we care, because this is the time to see the show. Now, the show is the show that is absolutely good and positive, because even if this whatever is going to be revealed, like crimes of sexual nature, crimes within the church, crimes within the government, political crimes, corruption, money laundering, maybe the cryptocurrency and everything that we were so much guided to invest into is not what it seems like. Maybe everything is a bit of a deception and manipulation. Maybe everything that ever touched on the internet is censored in a different way. So whatever is going to be revealed is going to be revealed. So we will have to wait until then and judge for ourselves. But the thing is, the financial effects of this energy, well, those are what we might not really think we deserve collectively. Because it is an eclipse, the sun is in Taurus, economy, money, currency, everything that basically represented the stability of the economy, the stability of the markets, the stability of the World Bank. Pluto, in almost an erratic degree of Capricorn, is grinding hard on this. The way the world's finances and financial structure is organized until this present moment, Pluto is saying like a clock, this is the final stages. This is the coffin. This is where it will change permanently. Of course, when that Uranus will meet the North Node very soon, maybe that will be the big revolution, the boom. That will be the moment when the new system is at least born as a prototype. But until then, this Scorpio eclipse can bring a lot of scarcity. Maybe food supplies can be cut off. Maybe food supply chains collapse. Taurus is nourishment and food. But at the same time, Scorpio, the South Node, because this is an eclipse taking place on the South Node. So the South Node is the superstar. Well, if we remember correctly, before the COVID outbreak in China, not necessarily when it reached the rest of the world, we had Uranus opposing Mars. Uranus in the sign of Taurus, Mars in the sign of Scorpio in 2019. So that was a very, very powerful, I'm so sorry, 2020. That was a very powerful energy that kind of born and concocted the COVID scenario, regardless of what the greater truth of that is. And when we have an eclipse in this part of the sky, well, whatever took place back then is going to be revealed. Or we're going to see a different picture because, as I said, this is self-revelatory because of its excess. It's so fat, it's so powerful, it's so big, it's so strong that it reveals itself. And we know that when the universe wants to terminate someone or something, it will wait until it's at most confident. So we already know that this will create chaos, financial chaos, economic chaos. This can also represent certain diseases and illnesses and the not so positive expression of purging and cleansing, because this is gonna feel like an emotional, psychological, and even financial in the sense of value and value system reflected diarrhea, a sewage, like when the sewage erupts like a geyser, but it's sewage, it's excrement, it's toxicity. So this means fake values. This means the rich and the powerful who are only Barbie dolls, they might get a shock or a blow collectively. Where do the rich and powerful stand together collectively? In the industry, in the media. Maybe they get a blow, revealing that they're just Barbies, that they're just plastic, that they have nothing to do with anything. They're just opportunists who allow themselves to be fed, so to speak. So this can turn into a lot of sewage, bursting out on the world stage. And this is emotional. But that emotion ultimately, well, value system again, I have to say, the sun in the sign of Taurus. How are we going to be beholding our scarcity? How are we going to be admitting that we have been, idolizing fake values for tens, 20, maybe hundreds of years? How are we going to be admitting collectively that we need to return to simplicity, that we need to change our judgment of what is valuable and what is not, what is viable and what not? Who is a good professional and who is not? What is worth our human experience, our time, our life, which is our time, and what not? So maybe this eclipse is going to be revealing to us, telling us, showing us what the human life is actually worth. And when the universe pulls a trick like this, it's not a pretty sight. Because we should know the answer. It shouldn't be the universe answering us what life is worth. It should be us knowing and not even asking the question that life is the supreme value. When it's not, the universe will show us through an eclipse like this. And Scorpio, water. But the kind of mirror you see in Scorpio, well, you're not going to be that very overjoyed by that. As I said, collectively as a species, individually, this can be the opposite. This can be when you see all the things that you have done right, all the sacrifice, everything that you fought for, that you transformed. For example, an artist. You don't get a lot of recognition when you're young and not so wild and talented and inspired and knowledgeable. But there comes a time when all of your suffering will be worth it. Maybe that masterpiece, that one single painting, will get you the house and everything that you desired, and not the 200 rest paintings that you've done and are even more beautiful than that one. Let the universe do its job. And finally, what I want to say, as miraculous, as powerful, as supremely, rewarding this energy could be, potentially, for those who have anything to do with the occult, those who live in the occult, those who live in the metaphysical, those who delve so deeply into the secrets that it became them, even if they're obsessed, even if it's unhealthy, even if they don't no longer even resemble a human being because they gave themselves that much to the occult. This is the moment of maximum reward. However, that which you worshipped, which you served, rewards you. And that goes for me and everyone else, including. If it was the divine, if it was like the Holy Mother, when you can expect something charitable, kind, merciful. If you served something that was meant to just give you power, then it is now that you get that power, if you are able to use it, that is. So this can be a really, really powerful harvest, so to speak. Saturn squaring this. Saturn is the principle of harvest, isn't it? The lord of the cycles. It is Saturn who tells us when it's time to reap. It is Saturn who tells us when it's time to plant. And now it will show us something, and it would be wise for us to listen and also remember well. Because whatever Saturn is telling us through this eclipse, this is Aquarius. This is for our long-term future. We need to truly embody this lesson, because our children, those people who will continue our story, who will continue life, who will start, creating that new world that we aspire to create for them, of course, because this is how it goes. We pass on the dream, the ideal, the aspiration to the children, to the future generations. Well, it is them who have to have the final reward of what it is that we get now today, in this moment of the eclipse. Because this is when we truly have to build the future, but literally, literally, not just through Facebook. And perhaps that is a possible expression of this energy. Would the universe take away our stability and comfort? As I said, our material benefits, our material comfort, us having money, us having resources, by any way, shape, and form. Well, a lot of us are going to be motivated to go out and build. Nature is free. There is a lot of building material out there in nature. Do we truly need the concrete jungle? This can also be a powerful moment that the eclipse can initiate and also, brew inside of us. Maybe a termination like this is gonna actually show us what true freedom and true bliss, true nurture, true human life and existence was always designed to be by nature, by the divine, and not necessarily the concrete jungle, the way we turned it into what it is right now, into a prison, when it was just supposed to be an accommodation. So thank you so very much for listening. I wish everyone a truly powerful eclipse. As I said, everyone listening to my channel and to astrology is one way or another connected to what Scorpio stands for, to the occult. So I do hope that a lot of blessings and sheer scorpionic power fills your being, and it gets you towards the accomplishments of your dreams and desires. If you'd like to support my work and what I do, you can donate in the PayPal link in the description below. With this being said, I thank everyone. Until next time, bye for now.